Hi, I'm Joe Foster. Welcome to the advanced martial art of Kenjute. Let's talk about real fights. In this video, we are going to take a look at critical distance and zones of sanctuary. In terms of real fighting is messy. It's not organized like you see in a dojo. It's not he does this, so you do this, and everything works out wonderful. There's a lot of variables involved in real fights. It's not like the movies at all, and it's certainly not like a competition in a ring. Real fighting is ugly and has all kinds of external things that could make the situation go very bad very quick. I would highly recommend you take a look at this video right here, which was in this video series we're running. It'll tell you about a lot of stats and some information I think you'll find interesting about real fights. But this video is going to dedicate to some concepts and principles that you can apply that are not necessarily set techniques, but ideas to help you win in a confrontation. The first has to do with critical distance, the distance between you and your opponent and how to stay safe. And the other is to change your angle of entry by going to what's called zones of sanctuary. So let's hop into the dojo and have a look. Critical distance. There's a lot more to successfully defending yourself on the street than simply knowing how to do a self-defense technique for a hug or grab, a kick, a punch, whatever. It's understanding how to position yourself or reposition yourself to avoid being attacked. So critical distance has to do with the space between myself and my adversary. Now that distance is determined by his farthest reaching weapon. As long as I stay outside that area, I can have my hands down. It doesn't require me to do anything at that point. And if he's going to attack, whatever, I have a choice of either fighting him or fleeing, fight or flight. Now that critical distance is measured by his leg length, not his hands. So if you look at this distance right here, you see, well, as long as I stay past this point, the guy can't hit me. But he actually can by rotating his hip and foot, which gives him a lot more penetration. So be aware of the hip extension as well, okay? So the guy's facing me, and he's going to give me a hard time. Now, why is it important? This bubble, this critical distance, also known as the kill zone. If a person gets inside that range, you can be hit before you have time to respond. No matter how experienced you are as a martial artist or a fighter, distance becomes a key factor. Everything in fighting is a measure of time and space. If you want more reaction time, increase your space. If you want to decrease his reaction time, close the space. But in terms of self-defense, I don't want to get hit by this guy. And if he's an angry guy right in my face at this point, I'm in a lot of trouble. I won't have a lot of time to react. I'm the bad guy. So maybe I'm angry, I get right in the guy's face here. Very easy, you see it all the time. The guy looks away for a minute, makes a fist, and boom, right across the face. Or the guy gets in your face, next thing you know, he's headbutted you, and you look like an idiot, even though you've been training for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40. I'm old, I'm approaching 50 years in this game. The point being, if you don't want to get hit, don't be there. Stay outside of that range, okay? So if the guy steps into the zone, the critical distance, and maybe there's a wall here, you have to get your hands up while you're dealing with this guy. So you at least have time and closing the distance to react. The other thing is, if he steps inside that zone, you have to make a decision. If he comes forward this way, you back up to maintain the distance, or if he steps inside that zone, at that point, you're going. All right, do not wait for him to initiate the attack if he's inside the bubble, okay? You could kick him in the groin, steps inside, same idea. If he gets right in your face, push him and tell him to stay away from you. Keep your distance, okay? Super important. Guy steps inside your zone, same idea. You're gonna hit through the face. If you don't wanna get hit, don't be there, okay? So that's what we mean by critical distance. Continuing along with the theme or principle of avoiding being hit, right? You don't want to be hit. This is not $1 million face, it's $100 face, but I don't want it to become a $10 face. So what I do is I go to what's called a zone of sanctuary. Okay, there are 5 of them. So picture what he's aiming at. He sees a target, he comes and he swings at this target. Rather than stand here and block with your face, which is never a good idea, you're going to evade that by going to one of 5 positions. In terms of retreating, if he throws that punching action, I can go back on this angle over here, retreating to reset, to counter, maybe coming in this way. So that's to 7:30. I can do the same thing over here to 4:30 outside of that range. Now what I want you to picture is that is actually a circle if he goes all the way around. So picture a square on the outside of that circle. Each of those little corners in dead center are the 5 zones. All right, now in terms of going forward, if it's coming at me, I can go up the circle on the outside to 10:30, or the same idea, I could go up over here more to 1:30 to counter. Or if he's coming with something maybe even like a backswing or whatever, I could step in and intersect and get in really tight, which is the center of that circle. So we teach you self-defenses in Kenjute to respond like that. Very rarely, once you get experience in the martial arts, do we have you stand there and simply take the punishment. We have you, first of all, get out of the way and then try and strike. For example, if he's coming at me boxer style punch and throws a punch in my head, I can slip up the circle and thrusting hammer outside, and I can hit him in the ribs here and carry on with the technique. If I'm working the inside, same idea, I just simply go up the circle this way to throw that punch to respond accordingly. Now retreating tends to be more for things like kicks. If I want to go to 7:30, we have a technique, a spear and hammer. He throws that kick at me from here. I go back off angle, but I'm now in a position that I can respond and counter. If I want to go to this corner, circling spear, same idea, going back here so I can kick the groin and attack him this way. Dead center, what do I mean by dead center? Maybe he's coming at you with the backswing. All right, so reversing hammer, you're going to step in and intersect that in nice and tight and then work techniques inside. So zones of sanctuary, there are 5. 10:30, 1:30, 4:30, 7:30, or dead center. If you can't run and you have to engage your opponent, begin your technique by going to one of those 5 zones of sanctuary. So this video, critical distance zones of sanctuary. I should point out that zones of sanctuary is actually a term and a concept that was introduced to me by one of my famous martial arts instructors, Ed Parker. Great guy, great martial artist. He passed away a long time ago in 1990. This video series, Let's Talk About Real Fights, is dedicated to teaching you about tips, tactics, concepts, and principles that you can apply to become more efficient in your self-defense techniques. Because not everything is about just knowing how to do a move. It's learning why the moves work and how to become a better martial artist. So thanks for watching. Remember to share, like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, do all those things that you young guys do on social media. Little alien to me as an old guy. I'm just learning about this stuff. I do appreciate the opportunity to share this information with you, and hopefully you'll find it interesting. So look for more videos coming your way very soon. Thanks for watching, and stay safe.